Hello and welcome to Story Underline. Till now, we have covered Portuguese and Dutch. Today, we'll cover English or the British. The English venture to India was entrusted to English East India Company, which received its monopoly rights of trade in 1600. British East Indian venture met with determined Dutch opposition, culminating in the massacre at Amboina in 1623. Later, Battle of Hooghly or Battle of Bidar, also known as Battle of Chinsura, in November 1759, where English defeated the Dutch. In India, the English found the Portuguese enjoying Mughal recognition at Western Indian port of Surat. As a result, English victory at Swale in 1612 over the Portuguese. New sense of enterprise. Francis Drake voyage in 1580, victory over Spanish Armada in 1588, merchant adventurers formed a company. Hence, a new sense of enterprise was witnessed. Later, in 31st December 1600, Queen Elizabeth I issued a charter with rights of exclusive trading to company where it was granted 15 years monopoly. Later, in 1609, it was extended indefinitely. बात करते हैं इंग्लिश के कंसोलिडेशन की. So in West and South, 1611, English had started trading in Masulipatam or southeast coast of India. 1612, Thomas Best defeated Portuguese in Surat in Battle of Swale. 1613, factory at Surat under Thomas Ellsworth. 1616, factory in Masulipatam in south. 1633, Balasore, Odisha in east. So Surat west, Masulipatam in south, and Balasore in east. 1615, Thomas Roy in Jahangir's court securing number of privileges. By 1618, succeeded in securing 2 farmans. 1632, Golden Farman issued to them by Sultan of Golconda. 1639, fortified factory in Madras, also known as Fort St. George, where ruler of Chandragiri gave permission Francis Day. 1662, Bombay gifted to King Charles II by King of Portugal as dowry. Therefore, peace between English and Portuguese and peace with Dutch in 1667 compromise. In 1687, headquarters was shifted from Surat to Bombay. बात करते हैं बंगाल की, that is consolidation of English in Bengal. So Bengal was rich and large and advanced in trade. 1651, Shah Shuja or Governor of Bengal allowed English to trade in Bengal in return of 3000 rupees duty. Therefore, factory at Hooghly in 1651, later in Qasim Bazar, Patna and Rajmahal. Later, hostilities broke out between the two, and in 1686, Hooghly was sacked by Imperial Mughals, which English retaliated by capturing the imperial forts at Thana. However, English were forced to leave Hooghly. 1690, where Job Chanuk, who was company's agent, negotiated with Mughal to return to a place called Sutanoti, and the treaty was concluded. 1698, where English got permission to buy zamindari of 3 villages, that is Sutanoti, Gobindpur and Kalikata. In 1700, the fortified settlement was called Fort William in Calcutta, becoming seat of Eastern Presidency of English. And Charles Eyre became first president of Fort William. बात करते हैं फारूक सियार्स फरमान, which is also called Magna Carta of Company. 1715, English mission led by John Surman. Later, in 1717, Farman issued giving companies privileges in Bengal, Gujarat and Hyderabad. Bengal में companies import, export were exempted from additional custom duties. In Hyderabad, freedom from duties in trade, they only had to pay prevailing rent. Surat में, they were exempted from all duties. What were the favorable conditions English witnessed? Structure and nature of trading companies. They were formed through amalgamation, merging of 2 English companies. 1688, English Revolution or Glorious and Bloodless Revolution resulted in deposition of James II and accession of his daughter Mary II and her husband William III. Whigs with enhanced influence opposed the monopoly of East India Company. Therefore, rival company was formed, and in 1708, 2 companies got amalgamated, known as United Company of Merchants of English Trading in East India, that is EIC, from 1708 to 1873. Other structure and nature of trading companies. controlled by board of directors, where members elected annually and shareholders had considerable influence. It was private enterprise and hence sense of enthusiasm and self-confidence, less government control, therefore quick decision making, which improved the efficiency of English, naval superiority and superiority of commanders like Ayar Kute, Lawrence and Clive, industrial revolution in 18th century, military skill and discipline, stable government and lesser zeal for religion. They used the debt market to fund its wars. First central bank of world, that is Bank of England, helped to fund its war. They controlled the important places like Calcutta, Bombay and Madras, and they never neglected their commercial interest. What about others? So French was state concern, controlled and regulated by government. In many ways, it was feudalistic, where French monarch had 60% share and directors were nominated. Shareholders took little interest as state guaranteed dividend to them. France simply went bankrupt with outdated ways of raising revenue. Therefore, the French witnessed crunch of funds, and the reason was that they subordinated their commercial interest to territorial ambitions. France experienced violent revolution of 1789 and later Napoleonic wars. French only had Duplessis and only had Pondicherry. Dutch East India Company went bankrupt in 1800. So till now we have covered Portuguese, Dutch and English. In later videos we'll cover Danes and French. So आप देख सकते हैं ये एक शॉर्ट नोट है जो भी हम अभी पढ़ रहे हैं उसका ये आप एक्सेस कर सकते हैं मेरे टेलीग्राम चैनल से आपको लिंक मिल जाएगा डिस्क्रिप्शन में आगे के लिए ऑल द बेस्ट थैंक यू